All right, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on JRC Stock Talk. We have the third episode of IDKFF here with Sheldon and Wintosh. We want to get an update on what the company's doing, what's going on with QIMC, and I know some of the shareholders also have questions as well. So thanks for joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe to us on YouTube and on X right here at the bottom. You can find the channels for 3D Cats and JRC Stocks. Yeah, I'm hearing feedback. Is that who's got music going? Sheldon, is that music in the car?
I'm sorry?
Is that music in the car?
Yeah, just 1 second. Turn it off. Music. Yeah, music. The music. Okay. Okay.
There you go. All right, Sheldon's on the go, so we're going to have a mobile Q&A with Sheldon and Wintosh. We're going to creatively adapt here. Thanks so much for joining us, Sheldon. Introduce yourself to everybody. Let them know who you are real quick if it's their first time tuning in.
Sure. 3D Capital is sort of my sequel to Pine Tree Capital, which basically invested in early disruptive companies. Shares went from 10 cents to $26. Now this is the new incarnation. Uh, Basically, investing at the earliest stage of companies, um, and hoping that we can get 50 baggers and more, and help those companies build their businesses across the spectrum of technology and mining.
We've talked about quite a few of the investments here on the show previously, like Toku, Hypercycle, quite a lot of your investments we've delved into. Now, I'm hearing a lot of buzz around QIMC and this new push for hydrogen from Germany through Canada. Can you let everybody know about how you're involved in that and explain a little bit more in detail?
Absolutely. So we've been looking at hydrogen projects for some years now, but they were always based on man-made synthesis using technology, proprietary tech, and massively capital intensive. We stumbled on a company about 6 months ago that had staked all this ground in partnership with the Quebec government in the province of Quebec in Canada, which is an extremely resource intensive province. Um, and not to our knowledge at the time was the fact that you could potentially find natural or white hydrogen in the ground in its native state. Um, there weren't a lot of companies really looking at it. Since we made our investment, the whole space has exploded. Um, and we believe that we've made a hydrogen discovery, which is extremely rare, through basically uh, hydrogen is, I think, believe the number one item on the periodic table. It's extremely light, and what happens is hydrogen um, sort of manufactures itself, really, which is a combination of certain types of rocks geologically and water at subsurface. It creates hydrogen, and the hydrogen seeps to the surface because it's so light. And so what you do is you take these probes, they're about 80 centimeters, you stick them into the ground, and then you have these like bags or probes around it, and you measure on what's called a parts per million basis. Well, we looked at the comparable companies out there that have been looking for it, and if you don't find hydrogen on the surface, you probably don't have hydrogen. And a lot of them were like 50 to 100 ppms. Some went as high as 2 to 300, but there weren't that many. Well, when we started these probes, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, the team in concert with the Quebec government's you know army of PhDs and technical people through what was called INRS, um, found readings at surface first between 3 and 400, then 400 to 600, and some as high as over 1,000. So no one has found numbers like these. I won't say ever, but we haven't found any recorded examples of it. So what that's
Let me pause you for
basically
1 second.
indicating is that there's a major system subsurface that is manufacturing hydrogen. What's that?
Just to give people some clarity on that, what is a high reading usually, or what is a non important reading when it comes to hydrogen?
Well, so it's called ppms, which is parts per million. So
Yeah,
if you have arguments saying you calibrate it and you're getting maybe in many cases 50 to 100 parts per million, companies have found that. When you get up to 600, 800, 1,000 parts per million, you're almost getting to the point where it's in its natural state coming to surface. Well, what does that mean? Well, we're going to site tomorrow. It's a 5 hour drive here from Toronto. So the property in the project is close to half the population base in Canada, the northeastern seaboard, probably 100 million people in the US, and Europe through the waterways. So the key is transportation costs can't be, too prohibitive, or else it cuts into the economics of transporting hydrogen. So basically, these readings are extremely high, which means that there's a precursor to what could be potentially an economic hydrogen deposit underground. 2 weeks ago, Gates and Bezos said they put 300 million into a company looking for natural hydrogen in Minnesota.
yeah.
Australian government just announced 50 billion going into it. The Saudis just announced a 600 million ton a year plant they're building to make hydrogen into ammonia. It can be turned into ammonia, which is used for fertilizer. It can be used for methanol. It can be in its natural state. And basically, Musk just announced actually as well, finally, that Tesla is probably going to, introduce a hydrogen model in 2026. So hydrogen is the holy grail of energy sources because I can get out right here, because it's basically, it's got a zero CO2 footprint. And sorry, let me just get out of the vehicle. So that's crucially important, um, and we believe that the world is going to hydrogen, and that it is going to become the energy source of choice. And the race is going to be to see who can find natural hydrogen deposits, because it's a lot less expensive to find natural hydrogen in the ground than it would be to manufacture it. Um, and no one seemed to be able to do that on a consistent basis.
It's pretty exciting. Yeah, I've seen the amount of money that Bezos and what's his name put into this, and I was blown away at the expectations they have. And if they're able to do that, it definitely reduces overall cost for people to use energy, and potentially, if done right, could solve some of the power crisis that we're facing now that everything's moving to electric. And um, so I'm interested to see the way this thing develops. And Canada seems to be a major player in hydrogen capabilities.
Let me tell you another very interesting data point that to me makes this project unlike any other project I've ever invested in. When you normally have um, resources of either hard rock minerals or natural gas or oil in the ground, when you take it out, it depletes.
Yeah,
Hydrogen repletes. Every time you take it out of the ground, it replaces itself. So at the end of the day, your NPV is off the scale because you're never going to have a decline curve. So this is something that's wow. I mean, if you have the holy grail of energy and then the deposit never depletes, you know, goes on forever. So the dynamics of the economics are beyond robust. Hello?
Hey, yeah, I also something separate. I saw you posting about a DeLorean. What is happening with the DeLorean? Everybody remembers Back to the Future and the first time that car came into place, and now here you are posting about it. Can you tell us what's going on?
I'd rather not do that at this point in time.
So it was a cryptic tweet. Okay,
I'm sorry,
all
you're
right.
freezing.
Was it a cryptic tweet? A secret?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
you know what? There's more to say. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
All right. All right. Well, what's going on with Toku? Can you catch us up to date on where Toku's at and what that looks like in the landscape of the upcoming future?
Yeah. So we had expected that it was going to launch a few months ago. So there was some delay, which, unfortunately is the nature of this business. But they had I mentioned that they were launching with Google, RBC, and CIBC. Another 800-pound gorilla company, which we can't disclose, has put a bear hug around the company and said, you are going to change so many business models. We want to integrate all our platforms into micropayments and help you find the solutions out there in the marketplace. And we want to be your technology partner, if you will. So that's all happening as we speak. The company, therefore, had to set up a subsidiary in the United States, and it's gearing up for a major launch. We're extremely optimistic about the company. Hundreds of companies want to be now partners with them. Um, it's going to be an exciting 2025 for Toku, without question. I think you're freezing up, Joshua.
Yeah, looks like he frozen. I guess he will try to get back in. I have no information right now. Let's just wait a minute, okay?
Yep.
Because I'm not sure what else he wanted to ask before we go to the stock stuff that most people are interested. Maybe he had an internet crash or something.
Yeah, it froze a couple times while we were chatting.
Yeah, I actually got some business questions as well from some people, so I can go ahead for now.
Okay.
Is Infinity AI profitable by now? Was one of them.
I know they were heading towards profitability. They just got another contract with the city of Vancouver. I don't want them to be profitable. I want them to grow and put all their money into growing the business. But I know they were getting very close to break even.
Okay, another one would be, is the company going to venture out more into professional services and financial divisions as the company grows?
Which company?
I think IDK is meant.
No,
it's not
we're
one
not
of my
going to.
questions. It was asked by an investor.
Yeah, no, IDK is not going to be in financial services.
Okay. What sort of market in future does AI play into smart cities?
Oh, substantial, significant.
Yeah. Okay, So that was one thing that that was asked. I don't know about Josh. What happens to Josh? Should we go forward and talk about the stock? I mean, obviously, many are frustrated. I'm one of them. Can you elaborate on the situation on the stock? Why there is so much selling for a couple of months now?
There was an institution in the U.S. that had redemptions, and they had to liquidate, I don't know, over 2 million shares or something like that.
But shouldn't that be soon, like long, be over already? Because we still see the selling.
Yeah, I think it's done, but stocks always surprise me. Also, in Canada, companies seem to be plagued by naked short sellers. They're everywhere, and as soon as you got selling, they join. So I'm hoping that they're going to have a rude awakening.
Yeah. So there is not any more information that you have. Right now.
No, I think it's ending. I think it's a great buying opportunity. We restarted today our issuer buyback. So we're buying shares at these prices and canceling them.
Yeah, that was another question. If you actually will follow through with the buyback from here.
Yeah, we started today. We had to wait for the exchange to approve us. Then you have to put out a press release. Then you have to wait another week. And now that week is up.
Okay. Josh is back. That's good. Because I'm working right now besides this.
Yeah, thunderstorm kicked out the internet. I had to go restart everything. That was interesting.
Okay, perfect. I asked a couple of questions that I sent you earlier, so just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I also want to know about, are you marketing any other big spaces?
What do you mean by that?
It's a good question. It was a question by Hector.
Well, are we doing other interviews like this?
Yeah.
Yes, we have some very, very big ones planned with millions of followers. But we can't disclose who it is. But their last person they interviewed was Elon Musk. So
Time frames and expectations on when people should be looking for it.
this fall now, I think October on are going to be very, very interesting for us.
I'm excited to see it myself. Do you have any updates on Hypercycle?
Not, what basically it took a bit longer for them to develop the integrations, but I think that we're going to see Hypercycle do phenomenally well in 2025.
Now, for everybody here on the show, if you would pause for a second, go and share this with everybody. Retweet it, like it, and send it to everybody else because we're getting into some of the harder questions here with IDKFF. The shareholders have been wanting to find out about. Now, they've got their hands in so many amazing companies that are in the middle of emerging growth stage of growth that any one of them could set things off in a major way. The stock is primed for a nice run. I think the biggest question is where is selling coming from? And I don't know if you had a chance to ask that question, Cheeto, but that's been the biggest question I've seen from investors and shareholders that have been watching your stock. Did you go over that already?
Yeah, we went over that, but there is not much new information, I guess. We know for some time that there was basically an institution selling, but it's just taking a long time now. So obviously people get anxious.
Yeah, I think there was some naked shorting that joined that. That's what they do. I think it's behind us now, and with the issue or buyback restarting now, we'll have steady buying every day.
Do you mind sharing a general roadmap of things that are coming in the future? I know you can't give dates, and like in the case of your major upcoming interview, you can't give who it is. But can you give us a roadmap of what's going to be transpiring over the next few months to a year?
So many things. Like Neuraball, our Neuralink competitor. Basically, finally, we thought it was going to be in June, but now next month we're going to be getting our headphones, so that is launching, and that was important. I mentioned Toku. It's delayed, but now it's launching. Um, I'd say a lot of our companies are in that same category where development curves have taken a bit of time, and I think some people have gotten a bit impatient because these things do take time. But to me, I'm focusing on a spectacular 2025.
We haven't even got there yet. There's a lot to transpire between now and then, I hope.
No, but when I say that is, all these projects are commercializing. They're basically coming on stream, like, again, we were delayed, but they're coming on stream now in the fall, and I think they're going to accelerate from there.
Very well. Now, can you talk a little bit about any of the insider buying that's been happening with IDKFF,
Well, that's basically the issue of buyback.
which is just now starting because of the delays? I know if you put out financials, you got to wait 2 weeks. If you like, there's a certain process to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so expectations are you're at a place where you're actually able to buy, and but you'll file a form for and disclose what you've bought after a certain period of time.
Right.
All right, and I know that's not much more you can talk about concerning that. Now, we want people to be able to set a reminder for your upcoming interview. Can't say who it's with. You can say it's in the next month,
Uh, in about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So mark that on your calendars, guys. Be paying close attention to IDKFF's Twitter account, 3D Capital's account, for information on a massive interview. I think that they're building up to something really big here. He's said very directly he doesn't know where some of the selling is coming from. Potentially there is naked shorts. Potentially there's a what was the other part of it?
Well, there was a seller, and I believe the seller is now complete.
So we believe the seller's complete. There were some naked shorts that took advantage of the situation. And so with Hypercycle, Toku coming online and being able to launch their Neurable at the same time, there's a lot of excitement that's going to be ramping up now and into the first quarter of the year. So we should be able to see some real excitement from a new interview in 2 weeks. Is there anything else
Also,
you want to say to
I think
shareholders?
you're going to see some perhaps interesting developments on our hydrogen story this week as we're at site. The company's going to do some live streaming of what it has found.
Okay. You're going to be live streaming from the site?
Yeah,
When's that going to be?
I think Wednesday and Thursday.
All right. So do we just tune into your X account?
We'll let you know. It's going to be through QIMC.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. All right. Is there any questions or from our, I call them peanut gallery. Is there any questions from the crowd today?
Yeah, there's some stuff coming in. One is why did you need to do a private placement earlier at 27 cents? A few weeks ago, I was.
Yeah, we positioned a very strategic investor.
Okay. I hope that helps this guy that asked how many shares of PRNL and NFGD we still own. I think that's the settlement shares, I think.
Yeah, we don't disclose that.
Okay. So you don't disclose if you have monetized it yet?
Yeah, no, we have a disclosure policy, and we have to adhere to that.
Ah, fair enough.
What else do we have, Josh?
I'm reading through the questions now. People are asking about NFG. and I don't know if you're able to disclose anything, but they're assuming that you've sold out and are asking how much cash is available now.
Again, we don't disclose interim financial information.
Fair enough. All right. The thing is,
There is a question about QIMC that was covered earlier because he missed it. As for IDK, you know how many shares are being bought back? I guess that depends on the price, right? I mean,
No, we disclose that we buy back 5% of our outstanding shares, and on any individual day, we're allowed to purchase 25% of the volume.
okay, that makes sense.
all right. I guess another question was, so what are some of the next catalysts that people should be looking at? And I assume to recap, we're having Neural will launch shortly. We have Toku that has a stranglehold, but it's about to be unleashed, and Hypercycle is about to go to market as well. Correct?
And QIMC is continuing to test their project, and there'll be updates on that forthcoming.
Fair enough. And I don't see other questions that we haven't covered here. Keep on asking about. Nope. Nope. Can't disclose that. Can't disclose that. Everybody's excited about the QIMC live stream coming up this next week. Just to
They
give you
should
an
be.
update.
They should be.
Oh, there is another question. You guys plan on being on time with your financials, or will those be put out early?
No, we should be on time.
Fair enough. There was a question about do you have an assessment of how much money the company lost on crypto?
No.
They were talking about the crypto trading losses in financial.
No.
Not fair enough. All right. Well, without further ado, if there's no more questions at this time, Sheldon, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Okay. Thank you, and stay tuned.
Definitely. I look forward to that. I'll be posting updates for everyone myself.
Okay. Thank you.
Au revoir. Jackson, did you have anything to add? Nope. All right. Kiko. Kiko, we're on, buddy. Well, guys, sorry about that. I guess a thunderstorm struck my house. So I had to run in and restart the router. I've never had that happen, but I'm glad I didn't get struck directly. Thank you very much, Shido, for carrying on the questioning while I was in a rush to get that done.
It was a coincidence that I had a couple of questions because obviously I don't prepare for that stuff because usually I'm only here for the open mic. So, but yeah, I was able to ask some things at least, you know.
His answers, I wonder what's behind them.
It's very tough to ask question with Sheldon because he's really short answered. And that doesn't make it easier. I mean, you wait a minute.
Look at these guys in the comments. Like, have you ever done improv, right? And there's this thing in improv, it's called blocking, right? And so in improv, you're supposed to, no matter what it is, you know, you say yes and you go with the improv. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, guys, you know, a lot of the things that you wanted answered were blocked. And you know, I mean, you can get mad at these guys if you want, but the truth is that he didn't want to answer a lot of your questions. And so, you know, I mean, it is what it is, you know, and that's I understand it would be frustrating, but asking it in a different way isn't going to change the fact that he didn't want to answer. So, you need to do with that what you will in terms of what you're doing with yourself, you know what I mean? Because you could ask it 68, you could ask it, this guy's saying professional. You could put on a suit and become a fancy pants in the dining hall. You heard about this? And and ask him the question, and he's still not going to answer the question. You know what I mean? That's the problem. He didn't
So
want to
all the
answer the question.
preparation, and I did communicate with the company prior to the show and got approval for all the questions that I put up, and still only got half of them answered. So they didn't say, "Hey, we don't want to address question A, B, and C." They said, "Fine, run with that." And then Sheldon, in Sheldon fashion, was simply, "I'm not going to answer that." There's no way to prepare for that.
It's very tough. It's very tough because he's got a lot of things that he doesn't want to talk about, and what do you say?
Yeah, and I had no preparation for having a lightning hit strike right by my house. But hey, you roll with the punches, I guess.
Yeah.
So, guys, what do you think about the way the stock's shaping up with IDKFF right now?
Well, I guess it remains to be seen. So, we're hearing that the issuer buyback is beginning now, which is fine. But, we'll just have to see. The first bounce that they had on the 11th there was a really good bounce, and then it did get sold back down. But now it's kind of crawling out of the hole just on really light volume. So, the for me, I mean, like, this would probably be a place that, like, if you wanted to find out, I mean, this is a triple bottom here at basically 175. You know what I mean? So, you know, I guess this would be the place to find out if it's true. You know what I mean? And if that seller is really done. I was a little bit surprised to hear that we weren't really aware of where the seller was in terms of what I mean, because if it was just an open market buyer of the stock that just had tons of it. I mean, there would have been no situation where someone could have accumulated that much size basically ever unless they bid it for February all the way through to April 2021. Right? So the probability is that whoever that seller is, I'm sure that the management of 3D would know who it is.
It
You know what
has
I mean? And so the question is to, maybe they're out of touch. You know what I mean? Who knows? But that would I was a bit surprised, and it's entirely possible they don't have to disclose anything. I get it. But yeah, just not a lot of info there made it very difficult, because the seller, um, the seller, like that, there's no way someone is able to do that type of selling. And then I heard some of the other accusations about the insider selling and stuff like that. The truth of the matter is that you're never going to get what you want from for an answer on that. You know what I mean? Like that's the truth of the matter. And so, the question becomes one of whether or not you want to be involved or not involved. And what your level is where you say, you know what, I can't take any more red or whatever, because at the end of the day, you're never going to get the answer that you want. And when you're dealing with something, across a border with different rules, it's going to be very difficult to get what you want out of that. So the question just has to become one of, what are you willing to put up with, I guess.
well,
I
you're
felt
right
that 2
about that.
million. Yeah, I felt Richard as well. 2 million shares pulled out of thin air was a bit much.
Yeah, it wasn't that diluted for 2 million shares to appear from nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, frankly, the way I usually do it is talking with the companies. I found out what the most up to date due diligence information is that we should be focusing on because they've already heard by email and phone call and social media DMs and posts and everything exactly what shareholders and investors are complaining about or asking about or looking for information on, and that's the information I want to focus on directly. So it seemed to me and the other guys on the show the majority of the questions centered around the selling, and we didn't get a single answer concerning that. Otherwise, I'm sure the interview would have gone a lot longer. And I have no problem saying that publicly. No slant on the company. He just isn't willing to disclose that, and that really put a damper on you guys getting some of the answers that you were searching for.
Yeah, and I can understand wanting the answers as well, but you know what I mean? If there's not going to be an answer to it, or even really an effort to, you know what I mean, to say, hey, yo, um, we're doing whatever we can to squash this or whatever. Um, I mean, uh, I felt as if I, would have thought there might be a little bit more in terms of getting people to hold on strong or rallying the troops or something. And with them, it's a matter of confidence. I mean, he feels very confident in what he's doing, and you're either on board or not, I guess.
He's
And
very confident. He keeps on talking about the Pine Tree Capital, and that was a great move, a monumental growth track for a company, and that this is the brainchild of that. And it's not reflecting that move at this present time, and we're hoping that it will.
yeah, and he's always got a lot on the go, and it's just it's tough to get the answer that you want. And like, just exactly like with regard to your question with regard to the crypto losses in the financials, I mean, he wasn't willing to address it. And you know, uh unfortunately, what can you do? What can you say? It's a very tough situation. But he seems very confident in what he's got to offer, and he's obviously confident that there's a big audience that he intends to reach. And uh yeah, because I mean, he's only willing to, and I'm just reading through the comments here. I mean, he's only willing to answer what he's willing to answer. I mean, you can break his kiwis as hard as you want, but if he's not going to answer, you know. But Douglas, the question with regard, he says you focus on negatives instead of getting enlightenment on new deals that were recent news. But what about the old deals, Douglas? You know what I mean? Like, what's happening with the old deals? Because like, I'm looking at the old deals and the performance, and those old deals, they're not percolating. You know what I mean? So like, the question is, like, what about, like, we need to know about those old deals and about the stock performance, because if we just say, hey, okay, well, what's new? You know what I mean? Then what? So, I didn't feel that it was particularly adversarial.
What do you mean he
Um,
got booted out of PNP?
yeah. What is that PNP?
And just for disclosure, I like Sheldon. I like the company. I'm not sure about the selling, so it's made me stay out of the stock at the present moment. But I really like the promise that it has. I think that he's extremely smart in having so many different companies that he's invested in that any one of them could make a monumental move for the stock. That's you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, and he's definitely hedged his investments for sure.
Yeah, and he's trying to be on the bleeding edge of a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And really, just like as any, like, a trader would do, you get involved in a lot of them, and one of them pops off heavy and makes your account, and you might burn the others off. You know what I mean? And that's the nature of his business. I mean, like, he's got the hydrogen, he's got the Toku, and he's a trader at heart. And so, I mean, the nature of his business is investing in some and seeing if they take off. You know what I'm saying? And when one pops off really big, then the others can go on the back burner. You know.
Well,
And
you know
so,
what
I
we
mean, I
came here
think,
for,
yeah,
guys.
it's a
I say, guys, we came here for OTC market runners and decliners. We came here to chop up some of the DD on companies that we know people are looking at right now, and reasons behind the move, up or down. So let's dive into that. I think we've burned this one to a crisp.
okay. Yeah, like, listen, I mean, the thing is, he's confidently doing a lot of stuff, and I know people aren't happy with the answers because maybe they're red or something, but this is how it is when you're investing, and he's investing in a lot of stuff. And that's the way it is. And if he doesn't want to answer, and I'm sorry to say, but how much are we looking at for volume in terms of? And then I'm just pulling up the runners list here so we can screen share. And you're saying 25 million, but the cute, like, pull here. I'm going to put up my screen here so we can see this.
Well, that didn't work. Here we go. Yes, we
So
did
you're
it.
saying 25 million, but I'm looking at these volume bars here, month to month. So first month, March, you can see it on the top left here, 375K, 730K, 1.3 mil, 1.4 mil, 600K, 1 mil, 1.18, 1.8 mil. So you're looking at cumulatively, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5, 6, you know, 6.3 mil, let's say. And then, that's not necessary. Like, a lot of it could have been retail as well. So, I mean, the 2 mil is a lot more probable than the 25 mil you're saying, because the volume actually does not even add it. Like, all of it together doesn't even add up to 25 mil. Okay, that's a good point, Hakeem. No, it's the same. It's the same. It's just converted. No, it is different. But is that 25? Yeah, I guess it could be. I guess it could be, Hakeem.
Okay, I gotta show this. No, no.
Well, and that's, yeah. Alrighty, well, let's jump into the market. It's not closed yet.
No, it's not. I should be
No,
on the phone selling right now.
you're right, Hakeem. That's my bad. I see the 25 mil now.
Where?
I don't know. I mean, he's not. He's not going to answer, Hakeem. He's not going to answer.
Where's the 25 mil?
It's on the Canadian exchange here.
Ah,
Naked shorts, he says. That's what he's saying. This guy wants to send me something in the mail. I don't know. I don't need. I don't know what's in it. What's in the envelope? You know what I mean? I see what you're saying, Akeem. Guys,
Sorry, there is nothing
Oh!
to repeat.
Siri was getting in on the action there, Hakeem. I'll tell you.
Yeah, Richard, we're of an understanding. Naked. It's really hard to short in OTC stock. It's not impossible. It does happen, and people that have very large accounts have access to doing that, usually through an offshore brokerage account. As a lot of the main institutional accounts aren't going to let you short a penny stock. That's just what's up. So, is it possible? Yeah. Is it probable? Probably not. The shares were somewhere. Somebody effectively wanted to sell, and because he's a Canadian company, they don't have the same constraints to disclose that as an American company would.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a tough situation. And he said the seller was on the U.S. side, but in looking at those charts, it seems like it was on the Canadian side.
Yeah.
So,
Which
maybe a
does
little bit of
reflect on
both.
the U.S. stock, but it's a lag.
Yeah. It's just like I can see where because if his business is basically like his balance sheet and his whole situation is basically like he's a trader of companies and investor in companies, and some of them are working and some of them aren't working, and until one really works hard, it's going to be painful, and that's what it's going to be, guys. Can this GMTH get on with it? Cheeto.
Keeps on testing the resistance, but not
Oh
breaking
man,
through.
I've been in this for a bit now, and it's such a sick setup. And they've got this huge acquisition they made, and it's just a matter of time. It's just phenomenal. It's a brand new symbol, and it's just been churning sideways. And so, for me, kind of this is kind of where I have to leave, and then. But I've just been here waiting for it to happen, and they get wild for it sometimes, and then they paint it down all the time over the course of the day. It just makes you batty. But some nice slaps there today on it, so we'll keep ticking away. Guaranteed, these guys aren't going to answer any questions over in China. There, you know what I mean? They're not answering anything. You
Well,
think they're mad about other questions not being asked? Good gracious!
I like that. It's got filled on LUDG at the close.
Oh, that's nice to hear. That was it's kind of ticking away lately, and it's doing okay. It's actually doing really well.
I'm gonna put another 12 grand into
Yeah,
it.
and I was a little bit. I wasn't suspect of it, but I know that they with the custo and everything, there were a fair amount of people in it. But kind of once you get clear of this kind of 40, I mean, it's just smooth sailing, brother. I mean, good gracious.
I'm trying to get all my money into it before it hits that resistance line again. I think it's going to break it. I really do. I
I sure
spoke with a
enjoyed the
company
interview.
today, and there's been the company knows where all the shareholders are, who's holding the stock, and so any selling that wouldn't make sense to where it'd be coming from. There's virtually a 4 million share float on LUDG outside of like friends and family that own it. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know. Just my opinion. Don't
It's
take
looking great.
yeah.
And I wasn't convinced at first, and then the last few days of action, it really makes you wonder, because they're starting to take a bit more size now, and and then you get free of this, and I mean, oh my God, look at the room on this,
Yeah.
and you're talking about that's it. There's no one else. There's no one home. You know what I mean? So if these guys are
It's all
serious,
about
then
detail. I mean, like just put it simply, Nobody owns the stock up that high that's going to be putting selling pressure on.
No, it's just up to the shareholders and company to work together to bring it, and it's entirely possible. It's entirely possible. So definitely one to keep an eye on. I'm pleasantly surprised by it for sure. And I really did enjoy that interview. So we'll see where we go from there. We got 1 minute to the close, and then we'll refresh the page on the OTC markets and see what the hell's going on. Slow day, though, wouldn't you say, Shido? Yeah, we hear you, pal. You're a designer and a creative strategist. All right, we got it. Thank you.
Love to join your team. If you want to elevate your work presence, if you like, I can send you my CV and other business details.
He said he's going to send me something in the mail. I don't want to open that mail. I don't know what type of powder's in that envelope. Person holding pencil. Okay.
Blue holding pencil. What?
Okay, guys, I'm here now. I'm here.
You are here.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's sorry, but it's before 4 p.m. It's stressful for me because I have so many different things, that pop up and alerts and yeah.
Yeah, I had some stuff going on there, but looks like we're. I won't open it, Richard. I'm not going to open that envelope. Are you kidding me? I don't know what's in it.
But I'm here now.
GMTH, let's do this thing, Shido.
Yeah, GMTH. I saw it a bit at 95 or something a few minutes ago, but it was there like 7 seconds. And
well, they bought like 7,000 ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's looking good now. Or better now.
Let's say like this. You see it on the screen there?
I still have high hopes on this one.
Me too.
6.9. No, close to 7. And this is a Chinese company that really no information is being had. Just if you're paying attention and you're in it right now, it's about to break through resistance, right?
Well, they did put out some news that they'd acquired a company for 200 mil or something.
Now, what should we set our parameters on when we're looking at stocks? Like how much in money volume? Say 15 grand at minimum.
So yeah, this is the dollar volume column here. And so yeah, generally the way I like to dice it up is I'll say minimum 10 grand. Unless it's like a crazy setup, like a trip or like a low dub that I don't recognize, then I might tab it open. But minimum, 10 grand is kind of when I start cutting up the advancers list. That's kind of what I'm looking for. So let's get into it. So, and this is the column here.
Yep.
This is gray. I don't usually do that. Like privately, I trade the odd gray because I'm in Canada, but most people are from the US and they can't. So I just don't bother talking about it. But I take the odd gray here and there.
We're familiar with FitSF. I've seen that before.
Yeah. That's that. What is it? A drink thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that post split?
I wonder.
Because I recall it being a lot. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember it being a lot lower, just mooning after the reverse split, eh?
Which is a rarity.
But look at this, 800 shares.
Yeah. Well, how's it mooning? Well, I guess
you got 800 shares at a penny. Now what? Pull through some of these. SETI was a weird move today. Yeah, DeLorean. He didn't want to talk about DeLorean. Posted a DeLorean. Didn't want to talk about a DeLorean. Fill is a bag. Okay, take it from me to you. Leave it alone. It's a little bit of that insider OTC talk right there. Bag.
GDXX.
Yeah, this was interesting. This got really whacked today and then bounced back a little bit. AFib, nice one. I had a 06 there. GGSM been a while. God, has that moved at all? Ever? Keep going here. GBAT. I made some great trades on GBAT over the last couple of years. FVTI. This is the archetype for why we're suffering GMTH. Wouldn't you say, Shido? Like, this is the reason.
I still have some of this, like obviously very few because it's so high already. But yeah, this was a nice one. I know you made money on this as well, right?
Yeah, I did. I had $2.
Yeah, that's nice. I think I was a little bit below that, but I mean, who cares if it goes to 7 or 8, right?
No, exactly. I mean, I had two. I'm all out now. I'm regretting it, but at the time, I was like, got him.
Yeah. And this one can be at $2 in like 20 minutes, or it can go to like 30. It's impossible to know.
You could wake up to $2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough situation.
Yeah.
TGRP, another nice day today. I was shocked by this. So people know last week I had 01 here. And started talking about it online, thanks to another really sharp guy who I'd not seen before, Z or something. Really sharp dude. Just still going and reset on the 30-minute MACD basically. And I'm starting to ask the question if they might take another run at this. I don't know. I mean, they were talking about how they were going to release some lab results or something, or some clinical trial results on Tron. And we've not seen anything, but someone woke up excited for this again today. It's maintained its anchor to the beginning of the move, where I picked it up. And it's still going. So I don't know, man. Crazy. Definitely worth keeping an eye. GMTH 26 grand is pretty good. I mean, that's one of its better days in a while. So we'll see with that.
And you're still in the green with GMTH, right?
Well, it's just barely moved. Like, I'm just kind of, I mean, what month is it? Oh my God. A month of sideways. I mean, when they finally break it out, I mean, you churn sideways for a month. One way or another, you break, it's going to rip. I don't know which way it is right now, though, is a problem. Could rip down. PRST, we'll open that one up. Spoozy, back down again, eh? I thought it was moving. It's back down. Or is this only where it moved to? This so what is the new magical material he found now? Aluminum?
Yeah, I've lost a little bit overview about Spoozy. What do they actually do now?
He had the sugar. He said he found aluminum ingot.
What is the deal with this? What they always mention? Do you know that the blocks or
blocks cross?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's always getting mentioned with Spoos, right?
Blocks cross. Here it is. Let's go to the website.
They have a lot of hopes on this one, I think. I don't follow this stuff too closely, the details on this stuff.
It's the new
line. It's just that, like, as much as I want to, it's just like I'm gonna need some price action. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not seeing it. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, he might be finding aluminum ingot. He might be finding aluminum. He might be finding copper ingot. But if it doesn't break this downward trend line, then you know what? I gotta find it. I gotta find my own ingot elsewhere. You know what I mean? So so that's all they can do for me because
Just keeping it real.
yeah, you can say a lot of stuff, but if it's not moving, then you know.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit too much DD for me out there. Like
Yeah.
the not the kind of DD I'm interested in as a trader, you know.
Yeah, like if you're looking for volatility, it just ain't it. You know.
If you are an investor the next like 3 years, planning to stay 3 years in spoos, I mean, I guess it's different. I get
Yeah.
that, but yeah.
KMFG, another Chinese thing you got to watch. Yeah, it just was kind of a day where everything was just kind of vibrating back and forth. You know what I mean? Like there were no moves today that I was like, oh wow, you know.
If it's not above a 10% gain, we shouldn't. We've already
Yeah.
gone.
No, I mean we've got a good list here to start. KMFG is a thinly traded Chinese shell. Your strategy here is essentially toss a coin. And you know, I'm sorry to say, but you know, because a lot of times you'll say, well, it's moving a lot, you know, and you need a reason why someone would come and bid for it if you made a bad move, you know what I'm saying? And KMFG doesn't provide you with that. So you've got a bit of a tough situation with it where it's a Chinese shell. Yes, it's a good setup. Yes, they're moving it a little bit. The volume, I'm sure, is shockingly bad. And that's it. You just got to be willing to roll the dice. And if you aren't, then this is not like, you know, 100 shares here and there. Just tough
I
work.
wouldn't bet on that.
You got to
Seems
just
like
buy
they're
it and close
fishing.
it. If you want to do it, close your eyes and pray.
Seems like they're fishing for somebody to notice the chart setup, jump in, and they drop it.
Yeah, you know, and this is exactly the same way FVTI started, where it was just insiders running the action, and you see that. I mean, there's nobody in this now, and that's all it is. But you can wake up to zero as well because when the insiders got their fill, and you know, and they see enough they can unload into, then that's it. PRST is a delister. Made a great move the other day, and then now it's back on the floor. Bit of a tough situation here because the selling is still pretty extreme. As far as what's as far as what's to be done with it, you know, you could argue that it's kind of changed, but not much. And it's just not a great thing. I mean, I guess I'd be looking for maybe a break of 55, and then you'd have to be ready to whack out at dub 5 because it's a lot more selling than buying on it. So that's all you can do really there on PRST. Clean Tech Water, I don't know what this is. I'm guessing this is just went gray or split or something.
Not a lot of info on it.
This looks too good to be true.
The not available part.
Yeah. So someone just massacred a bid for the tune of it looks like 100 shares here, and then now it's back range bound to nowhere. So, good luck with that. Safe Supply streaming. Safe Supply is a really big topic here in Canada now because they've got safe drug supply sites where you can get a crack pipe and stuff like from a vending machine. It's not full of crack, but you can get the pipe. You know what I mean? And then get safe supply drugs. So they've been moving this the last few days a little bit, but they're investing in safe supply. Interestingly, um, with Justin Trudeau on track to lose as prime minister here at some point sooner than people may think, this company will probably be worthless. So, because he's looking to deal with a lot of those safe supply sites and move our plan more towards treatment than it is just sectioning addicts off to go do their drugs alone in a corner. Fit SF, this is post split. A
Yeah,
little
but how many
scary.
times does a stock run after a split? Yeah, I've seen it happen when they're listing, but to see this transpiring now and they're nowhere near listing on a major exchange, I'm excited
No.
about it.
So the average price that they're holding it at right now is, I just dropped an anchor there. It's like 16 cents. And the total volume that's brought this thing up is like nothing, like 21K shares, 19,000 shares, 61,000 at one point here. So that person's doing well. But I mean, you could just get whacked on there, and that would be the end of it. And chances are you will, because like, I mean, this is just not all into the bid. I can't work with that. I can't do that.
No.
SETI had a little move today, and when you look at the daily on SETI, it's a tough gig. Hold on, I'm loading the computer. Can I see? There we go. So it was a nice move today, but overall, it's a very tough place to be. I know I thought they had some news today. No, they didn't. So they must have called I don't know, fired up the phone banks.
Watch, they're going to have news tomorrow.
Yeah, well, exactly right. Ideally, Lisa, it's a good question from Lisa. Should you buy a stock before or after a forward split? Ideally, it's nice to have it before, because then your shares become, you know what I mean? Like, you get the bonus of the forward split. So ideally, if you know a company's doing a forward split, if you want to get the benefits, you'd probably want it before. And an interesting example, that's Tesla. Here's all their forward splits. And then so you would get, so it's 5-to-1 forward split. So the day before the split, you had one share of Tesla. Now you have 5 shares of Tesla. Well, guess what? Now you've got a 5x basically, or whatever, from there. And then if you did it again, so the strategy with forward split is to pick it up before, ideally.
And reverse split, sell it before.
Yeah, sell it before. You don't want it. And then but remember, and I remembered the stock that the lady said I attacked her sister over, and now I forget it already. Oh. Because I said you don't want to have it before that reverse split. And she said I was attacking her sister. So I'll never forget that.
You just forget the stock that it was associated with.
Nope, she wasn't involved in the stock either.
What?
Yep, no, it was her sister passed away, and my attacking the stock was attacking the fact that she wanted to donate to causes that her sister passed away from, and my attacking the stock was attacking her ability to donate to the causes, you see.
No, I don't see.
Me neither. I got to be honest with you. I'm still struggling with that one.
There are people actually sitting at home looking for reasons to get involved in some drama, and they try to find anything they can and just spew out random stuff, but it doesn't make sense.
I'm not. I don't know her sister. QN is not a bad setup. Only issue is that it just doesn't really move, and it looked kind of like it was moving today. The setup's good, like it's good, but it only really goes down, and it's a shame because the interesting news with QN that you have to keep an eye on is that they've changed their business. So they're now getting into, they're going from fintech to digital content and product distribution, which I guess, I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? But some type of digital content. And they're getting out of crypto stuff.
A lot of people are.
Yeah. And so, maybe they turn this thing around. Right now, it's really not going too well. It is a good setup. They are SEC delinquent right now, but I think largely because they did file an NT, so it could be okay. There's a downward break line that you could put an alert on. Keep an eye on it. If they did get serious about their new business, once upon a time, I loved this setup. I thought they would do something with it, and just nothing at all. So they are changing business. Who knows? NXGH it used to be.
Needs the filing in a week. Just
a week, yeah.
As a side note.
And then they go on grace period, correct?
They go on grace, first, and then expert,
BGXX, a thing that just got dumped here. Little bounce. Delister, I believe.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Another delister, right?
Light Green Corp.
Yeah, delister there. I don't know. They reinforced their commitment to shareholders on Thursday, and then they really showed them how much they care for them by dumping them down to 03 on the Monday.
Or did the shareholders not believe what they said and the shareholders dumped?
Well, sir, they reinforced. That's all I can say.
They were probably trying to stop something from happening that was going to transpire anyways.
It's entirely possible. They were trying to say, like, hey, guys, something's going to hit. You're not going to like it. But this is the main thing, that the NASDAQ canceled their delist appeal hearing. So people are realizing that they're locked into being in the pinks. And at 05, I mean, it could get a relief bounce, I suppose, but it's not that great of a setup in terms of outstanding shares at all at 05. So it's really tough to say what's to be done here. Pre-14A, let's take a look at what's going on. What do they want to do? Reverse split. So I'm just going to say it's a bag. Yeah.
Somebody in the comments asked if we've gone over QIMC yet.
What is that?
QIMC is the hydrogen company that Sheldon was talking about.
Yeah, he talked about it a bit, and he had some interesting points, which I agree with, as far as hydrogen answering a lot of the questions that people have with regard to like low carbon future. Like, at the end of the day, you can't run an industrial plant off a battery. You can't, but you can do it with hydrogen fuels. And so I think that hydrogen longer term is the answer to the question that people have about carbon emissions. Now, whether or not, like, there's a lot of discussion as to whether or not it's the actual cause of warming, and I'm not here to discuss that, but if you are going that direction, carbon's the thing. And so what he said is that QIMC intends to get into hydrogen fields where they're extracting hydrogen as opposed to creating hydrogen, which is extremely cost intensive. And that's what he's looking to do.
Yeah, and he was saying that the readings they're getting are substantially higher than what normally would be found out in nature. So
yeah,
what I thought was nuts was if you have, yeah, I got a scoop on GMGI. Hold on. If the hydrogen replenishes itself, that's like having the golden egg. I mean, the golden goose. I mean, if it's going to keep laying golden eggs, you don't have to go out mining for it. It'll keep bringing it to you. So that part of his explanation was quite surprising.
Yeah, and interesting. I mean, if I don't know the rate of regeneration, but certainly, I mean, it could prove to be a decent long-term investment. Um, whether it be through IDK or finding another pure play hydrogen extraction company. There is absolutely a future in that, and I do feel as if the future of low carbon emitting machines is in hydrogen, not in batteries. So I guess we'll see. Yeah, hopefully that helps.
I think so. Did you pull up QIMC to look at it at all?
We can't really see it. I mean, maybe it's only on the. Yeah, here it is. Here, been a nice move. I mean, you had to really step into it in July and go from there, but there it is on the Canadian Securities Exchange.
It's not on OTC, right?
Not yet. No, not yet. And maybe they'll list it at some point, but not yet. You got to support there, kind of 175, and there's a lot of selling here, to be honest with you. So if it were to lose that support, I'd probably look for reentry. Yeah, I mean, it's been a great move, but you're kind of double topped out there on the daily, and to lose that 175 to me would be maybe an opportunity to look for reentry. And certainly, I don't really know if I could be buying it. I mean, maybe around 0.2, sure, 20 cents, sure, but you just got to be really, really careful with it. But this could be longer term. Oh, they will have a U.S. ticker this week. That's great to hear. So I guess we'll see them pop up on the OTC at some point.
Yeah, but this is something Sheldon's getting heavily into. So, guess we'll hear more about it soon.
Yeah. Shout out to my Canadian brother there.
Mia Golf.
Mia Golf must be. He and I were out here buying $10 heads of lettuce up here. We're having a good time, right?
Wait, what?
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy up here right now.
Get
Crazy.
a little box of dirt in your backyard and grow your own.
It's frozen, man. It's already frozen.
Already?
Yeah. It's freezing overnight now.
Man, I'm not far from you. It's going to be happening to me here in a few weeks.
It's freezing overnight. Ay. AFib is a delister. That made a great move over the last couple of days. I had 06. Did you snag it, Cheeto?
No, I don't.
No. I don't know why I did it, but I just did it.
You did it?
I did. I had 06, but I sold it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a good trade, but you're going to run into some resistance here at 15. And we don't know, like with the company, I've looked a couple times at to what's happening with them, and there's nothing in terms of announcements or anything. So
yeah, I looked at it, and but right now I wouldn't know why I didn't buy it. But there must have been a reason.
Yeah,
and I didn't follow it lately. I didn't follow it anymore.
Yeah, so I just couldn't say, but
nice move. Yeah,
very nice move for sure, and we'll see what happens with that. But I wouldn't know how to buy it here, to be honest with you.
No, absolutely not. I'm gonna put it on watch now in case it goes down again. I will check it out.
GGSM is a thing that does not a lot of things. Gonna be like as far as movement goes, you know what I mean? They're out here. There's a lot of DD floating around about Indonesian tour boats or something like that, but at the end of the day,
We need to invite for this one. We need to invite what's his name?
Gosh, and he's so well versed in it.
Yeah, he knows everything about GGSM. It's great.
And he says there's a lot going on there, and the price certainly doesn't reflect it if he's
What
right.
is his name?
They never talk to the public, do they?
No, they never do.
No.
And I remember when they initially executed that merger, and this was had to be like 2021, and I was like, Indonesian tour boat.
Yeah.
And then I had to double check. Like I was like, this can't be an Indonesian tour.
But
tour
don't they
right?
have different stuff happening?
Mr. Hobbs, he knows his stuff. And then
Exactly.
it was an Indonesian tour boat. So I don't know. Indonesia, what do you say? There it
Mr.
is.
Hobbs can talk like 2 hours about GGSM. It's it's informative.
GBAT is the Basic Attention Token Trust. So,
yes.
So I rode GBAT from $1.75 to $27.
Really?
Well, I didn't ride it all the way, but I made some massive trades along the way. But I was one of the first GBAT adopters, if you recall, Shido.
Yeah, you brought this up when it was really low. I got in a little bit late, but I made nice money. Thanks to you that you mentioned it, because I never followed it before.
No, and this is one of those grayscale ETFs that reflect these cryptos, but they reflect them. So like to look at the rate, and actually this is a good one to double screen it. So we'll put side by side here, because the rate at which these grayscale ETFs move versus their underlying. So like GBAT here. So let's go to what you can see here. So February 1st, Basic Attention Token moves 77% tip to toe between February 1st and kind of mid-March. 77%. The grayscale reflective ETF, 522%.
Yeah, they were totally broken at some point. I think.
They were broken, and I think they still are. And so here, and this was the ultimate though, the Solana one, because there's Solana. What was that? October 2023. We'll go. Yeah, let's just go October 2023. Solana full move 760%. The G Sol move 1,800%. Like, it's just unbelievable how hardcore these ETFs are. And so potentially GBAT is back in play. If Basic Attention keeps moving, GBAT will get it, and they'll do it all over again. So there's the spot. Crossing on the daily right now. Gotta watch, man. The last two crosses have been money.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that. FVTI, we talked about it. Spoozy talked about it. So that's what's going on in the advances. We'll take a quick look on the bombers. I don't think there were any particularly nasty bombers today. ADHC was a bomber today.
UPHL.
Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, ADHC.
Whew.
I think there's a good amount of people now stuck a little bit, I think, because they expected more out of this.
You know who didn't? This guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's this one is tough. I mean, you can trade it. I mean, it's all good.
There's always a good trade in it, but it's always the same thing.
But it's probably not something you wanna like.
But with that being said, I mean, there's your. I mean, it even breached that anchor. Like, everyone who bought this is red basically since mid-August, except the company, obviously. There.
Yeah, that's ugly from 3.5.
Yeah, this is ugly. I don't even know how to take a dip on it. I mean, I guess you could say what? It's lost everything. Yeah, there it is. There, 12. 12 would be it. 12 burn it at 10. That's that. Sync was a little bit disappointing today. I was hoping for a little bit more. They say their notes are coming to an end, and so far, they were definitely diluting today. There's no question about it.
Yeah, the thing about SINC is it was a bad look today, but it because they came out Friday with the 8K that with the press release that basically Diagonal did the last conversions, right? And today we have a big increase, but that increase was most probably before they came out on Friday, because the last time they updated was the 16th,
Yeah,
and
that's true. I mean, chances are it was before they updated.
Yeah, but that increase was the result of Diagonal doing their last conversions, I think, because they just didn't update it, for like 5 days. And
yeah,
that's why
so people reacted poorly to that. And then they were seeing some cross trades hitting the tape too, which did not help.
Yeah, because the second one is also diluting right now. I saw an email from the company, and they said what's the name of the second, guys?
It was a new one to me.
The second note holder. They apparently already converted 15,000 out of the 60.
Yeah.
So they are actively converting this. So at least there is an end to it, soon.
That's the big question, and that's why, and it hasn't breached the anchor from where the news came out. And it's entirely possible that they turn this thing around. So you got to keep an eye on it. But today, between the share structure update, which was likely old, and then now this, it was just not their day. And so we'll see if they come back for it, but a bit irritating for sure.
Yeah, this was such a bad timing, because this one had a lot of chatter during the weekend and a lot of momentum on Friday. A lot.
Yeah, it was great.
The worst that could have happened.
Tupperware bankrupt. Everyone disappeared.
Bankrupt finally.
Get us back on. I think we're off the screen there. Oh, there we are. Yeah, they're bankrupt and they're gray already.
Wow. Now, I remember growing up, and I had tons of family members that started selling Tupperware. It used to be such a huge thing, and that just slowly died off, man.
Yeah, and they're in bankruptcy now. If you're a Canadian, and if they file that 10Q, they'll flip right back to pink, right?
Yeah, but they have to file a lot.
Yeah, they do. They're missing a lot of Qs, hey?
Yeah, even the K. They haven't filed the K. From what I see on OTC markets, they haven't filed the K for 23. So they need the K and then 2 Qs.
The probability of, they're probably just going to turn inwards and do their bankruptcy court stuff, and that'll be it. So,
yeah.
So probably be cooked.
The Tupperware.
DRCR was a nasty dump today.
Oh yeah, that was why.
DRCR?
I picked that one up. Around 8.5 or something. It even hit 7. That's crazy.
We just got done talking about their run recently too.
Yeah, they announced they were getting bought out, and then they just unloaded on it. So 100% the company selling. Nasty. I mean, maybe there's a bounce there, but what a bunch of that is just nasty shit, man. And you think about how many, because this is an ILIS related ticker. So
yeah, they hold 20%, I think, or something.
A lot of the faithful are in this, as well as QIND, SAML, and I mean, just back to back to back, they are not getting treated well at all. Like, these things are all just eating them alive. That's not it. Just eating them alive.
Yeah, I had that thought today.
All of them. Is it eyeless, or is it the money guy behind it, or what is the connecting piece for all these companies?
It's the management team of Eyeless, basically.
I just know that Eyeless, the company Eyeless owns 20% of DRCR,
Yeah.
for example, I was told. So
There's a
Brutal.
lot of red there.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't know how they dig themselves. I don't even want to say how they probably should, but that's their business. I don't want the smoke.
What's your share structure look like? Nah, who cares?
On the Eyeless,
Yeah.
it's a big Bertha, big mama.
not great anymore.
Mm. Two something billion in the float.
Yeah, it's a big mama Sita. That's what they say. I don't know who says that actually, but someone might say that. And that's that kind of covers it off. Takumo, disappointing trip. I don't know what to do with that. IDVV, the same. This
Did
CLNV,
you?
I keep hearing about it, but they just keep selling.
Yeah. By the way, they have a spaces that just started.
Okay, well, good luck.
They have current events with the CEO spaces now.
Who is Clean Vision?
F-Zero, you got to watch it, man. F-Zero, I said it reminds me of Olvi. Made that one move, and you thought, whatever. Kind of crazy, right?
That was crazy. I missed
And then
all.
it did it
It was
again.
unbelievable that I missed this one.
And again and again and again. And I'm looking at this and I'm wondering if this is the scene. Like, it's hard to be in. But boy, it's getting volatile now. How do you even handle that?
Can only really small size. It's the only way.
Yeah.
And if it goes like Olby, or if it goes like some of these micros do, then it's still good money,
That's the thing.
You don't need to put 3,000 in, because I mean you will get absolutely slaughtered if they decide they take it down.
And then after they run, you go, "Oh, I wish I put 3,000 in," but you can't.
You can't. I mean,
no,
I won't.
That was like that FLCX. I just imagined what life would have been if I took it, with size down when back sub dollar. And but what would life have been if I did and it didn't work out? Probably pretty painful. So
yeah, and I think the F-Zero is it's even more thin, isn't it? That than FLCX was back then. Yeah, I think so. So it's
way thinner.
It's another thing even.
What's your average daily volume?
What was that?
What's your average daily volume?
On F-Zero, it's low.
Well, I mean, because big traders usually say they're not willing to invest more than 10% of the average daily volume. So, I mean, it's like 10 shares. That would be horrible.
Well, it kind of is like 1,000 shares, 6,000 shares, 750 one day. And then just out of nowhere, they did 85K. Like, it's just.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 500K in the float. So, and out of this, for sure, there is like probably for now 300,000 in hands that just don't sell right now. There is just not much around for now. This can change daily. I mean, they have a big unrestricted number. So, if the unrestricted guys ever start to sell into the market, which they could, then it's going to be different very, very fast,
Yeah, you see. I mean, there's a lot of overhang there.
There's potential overhang, but for now they don't, because the way it trades, clearly they don't sell, and the updates show the same. But it could change fast.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat, did you buy the TAMG last week?
No.
Did you know? Okay, I thought you did.
I was thinking about it, and because I got stuck in TAMG when they did that profile change originally. and I got stuck in it for a while. And then I was looking at it again, and to me, I was like, okay, the profile, yeah, back. No, this was before that. No, I guess it was. No, it was here, wasn't it? No, it would have been here in July, June.
Yeah, it's not that long ago. Yeah, yeah,
June, yeah.
they have to speak out. I mean,
And I
but on
sat there
emails
till
say they
forever,
will.
and no one
Yeah,
ever bought it. And now they're doing more in terms of wanting to update people, and
genau.
maybe they'll finally get going because the setup is there, man.
Yeah, and the merger looks decent with the low GPX.
Yeah, it
They have
does.
a piece of that JFK contract and stuff. It's
I
not. It's
was
not
able to fill a low hit on fun.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too. I
yeah,
bought in 20s today. I even bought some 18s.
yeah. Because this is just unbelievable with a change of control last week.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
bad.
So we'll see where that takes us. But nice hit into the fives, and we'll see what our man, whoever this new CEO is, what he's got to offer. Because I mean, it's just crazy. 2003.
So much room to the upside.
2003, that's when it dropped off. Like, I mean, there's just nobody here.
I
But it
just need
always
to.
gets rejected at that 05 level.
That's
Like,
the thing. That's the point. It needs to get above this price point.
yeah, it always does. And over the years, because the person that just sold control of it also was the change of control that we bought in last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
something.
and they did nothing with it. So I don't know.
What
But
kind of skeletons are in the closet?
what was that?
Wonder what kind of skeletons are in the closet if they got a change of control last year and weren't able to do anything with it. I mean, what held them back? What did they find out that kept the stock from being able to become alive again?
That's the concern. Like, what was it that, I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
But
we would not know.
Somebody holds a large position in it, and they found out they're not friendly. You never know.
you don't
No,
know.
you never know.
But whack back, I mean, at some point, maybe they get that thing on the road. Who knows? BNCM, I didn't see anything going on there today. They had news today that was I thought it was pretty dull. But
But we're gonna have to take a hard stop here in about 4 minutes.
okay, well, that's what I got, man.
Yeah. So far, so good.
Just out of curiosity, you guys posed or for doing a market recap during the week. It has nothing to do with the Q&A.
Yeah,
And if so, would it be good to do like midday?
during market hours.
Not active, more like lunchtime market hours, like a 30-minute, a really short 30-minute um, midweek, midday recap on how the week is shaping up.
Yeah, we might be able to do it. It'd be tough, but we might be able to do it. Yeah, people were interested in it.
I had a lot of people ask about that. I mean, I did one for fun, and they said it was a great idea, and I've heard other comments about it since. That's why I'm bringing it up. Like, I'm not, I mean, Monday, the week hadn't really got going yet. Maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe pulling like a 30-minute, hey, we're checking into what's been moving so far and the trading setups of potential stocks throughout, going into midweek.
If people were keen, sure.
What day is better for either one of y'all?
Probably the Wednesday. Then it's really right in the middle, eh?
For me, it's tough during the day. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it's very tough for me. To concentrate on anything, because I've got all the screens and so much is happening, and if I do something, I wanna be concentrated on it. It's tough for me. But Kiko probably.
So if
Yeah,
we can come in on you being able to trade while we're doing it, and just talk about some of the stuff that you're trading necessarily will be pretty exciting to some of the investors and traders to join in. So I think let's do a Wednesday, say 12 o'clock, 30-minute little market rundown on how the week's shaping up. Just 30 minutes. We're not going to keep it long. Everybody's got stuff to do, but I think it would be beneficial. I mean, if you're down with that, I think let's do it.
I'm open to it. I'm at my desk anyways. I got all the gear here, so.
All right, we'll do that next week.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys, there will not be a show Thursday. I know I've got men's retreat coming up, so the following week, though, we probably should have a Q&A on Thursday, the following Thursday, anyways. And Wednesday, we'll do a little market recap, a midday market recap on OTC movers.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll get it posted, guys. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Please follow and subscribe on YouTube. Please touch base with each one of us on X. We have Shido_74, Kiko Stocks, and JRC_Stocks. We really want to hear from you guys. We want to be able to answer some of the live market questions that you have and dive into the due diligence behind some of the stocks you're looking at. So stay in contact with us. Let's do this together. It's all about building momentum in OTC markets. I think it's coming alive. I really think that fall is going to be an amazing trading time where people can see a resurgence in OTC movers, and we're here to prove that.
Beauty.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right.